Everyone must budget. Everyone must budget. No one does budget these days. People don't learn how to budget. Budgeting for household items used to be something they taught girls when they were in junior high. I am not exaggerating, and this makes me nuts that this is no longer a skill that we are taught. Your clothes wear out. This is not news. You change things that you might do with your life based on your age, your social status, where you are, what's going on. We've spent a lot of time talking about that. But these changes are not generally surprise changes. You don't magically graduate from college and you didn't expect that you were going to have to go and interview. That's not a thing. That's not the thing. So, let's consider budgeting for our clothing. I did link an example to a vintage budget because I thought it was excellent because it put two things in front of you. One, it put what you would need in your ideal wardrobe, and you have an ideal wardrobe. You prepared it. All right. So it had that, and then it had a list of how long those items were expected to last. In your experience, how long are the items in your ideal wardrobe expected to last? The ones you already have. How long do they last? How high a priority are they? I'm going to give you the priority list. Almost none of this is something that I would put on a credit card ever. It's so easy to start running up your credit card for clothes, especially since I just told you to buy online, which is all credit card, and then buying it and then sending it back. It's so easy to become a big problem. I don't want problems for you. So I'm going to ask you to budget. But when you're budgeting, I'm just going to assume, we're going to assume that you're naked. Okay? You're not. But let's assume you're naked. Here are your clothing wardrobe priorities. I don't care who you are. Bras that fit, bras that are invisible. You need two, so you can wash one and wear one. Nude, smooth, boring bras. Hand wash them. Make them last as long as possible. They should last. They say a bra will last 6 months. If you hand wash it, you can get at least a year, if not a year and a half out of a bra. If you hand wash, line dry. So that's item one. You have to have that because it affects the look of everything. You will look like a different person in a well-fitted, invisible bra. You need weather-appropriate clothing, so if you live somewhere you need to not freeze to death, that's important. Take care of that. I live in San Diego. I'm not even going to try to tell you what that would be. For me, it's a hat and some sunscreen. I don't leave home without my sunglasses, but my sunglasses cost me $10. I am not the person to tell you about this, but you probably, even though we're kind of pretending you're naked, you probably have something. And winter weather wear is expensive. That's definitely a budget item. All right, third, basic shoes. So this is your basic neutral leather color, whether that's black, brown, possibly navy, closed toe shoes. Now, if you're in an office, this might be pumps. If you're working in a construction site, that might be work boots. If you're a stay-at-home mom, that might be a nice pair of Oxfords that you can wear to the grocery store and church and anywhere else you might need to go. Just your invisible shoes that fit you, that are comfortable. This is someplace that you want to spend the money. Not for luxury. not for the red bottoms. Don't blow your budget for that. You get those when you can afford them. But for solidly made, comfortable shoes, because just like having soft bits that sit where they're supposed to sit and make your whole body look better, so having comfortable feet will make your body look better, because you will walk more gracefully, you will smile, you will have more energy. You don't want pain in your feet. All right, so bra, shoes, weather gear. I haven't even touched clothing, have I? You can buy a plastic pretend leather purse from an inexpensive store. That's not on the list, because it's not even remotely an investment. The other thing that you want to get is, if you are in any kind of position where you're looking at this being your professional wardrobe, you need to have basic neutral in your professional wardrobe to what you need. If you are in a position where you need to have a blazer and a skirt, okay, you're going to get that suit and it's going to be expensive. You're going to get your basic neutral, whatever it is, your best neutral, and you're going to get unassuming lines and a very classic fit. That's it. So now you know what to get. Those are your budget items. Those are the only things that you need to get where you're breaking the bank. Now, the rest of your budget items would be things that you would just be pulling off of your ideal wardrobe, and you'd be incorporating over time as you can, based on what your monthly clothing expenditure list looks like. How much do you have to invest? Some months you're going to be putting most of that money away because you need one of these higher ticket items. You don't want to just have one pair of shoes. You need at least, 2 or 3. You don't want to have just one basic, skirt, pants, whatever, that you're wearing all the time. You want to have that. You want to have a second one, a third one. Maybe you're putting most of the money away because you're not going to shop every week. You're not going to shop every month. Put that money away, and you know what you're going to buy next. What are your priorities? I don't know what your priorities are, but you do, because you have your closet. We just cleaned out your closet, so you know what needs to be bought. We want that laundry and a half. Maybe you've got like a 3/4 laundry, right? Laundry cycle, and you're having to do like a quick hand wash in the middle of your laundry cycle. You're really getting some mileage out of those clothes. It means they're going to wear faster, and it's just going to be boring, and you're going to have to be very creative with your accessories to make lots of new outfits, etc. Okay, maybe that's your priority. You're going to think seasonally. Part of your budgeting is going to be seasonal shopping. I didn't talk about this in shopping, but it is absolutely true, particularly in in-person shopping, but really anything. When you look at your seasons, so go all the way back to section 1, we're thinking about your Color Me Beautiful season. Guess what? Whatever Color Me Beautiful season that you are is going to be the easiest time to find your colors. I'm a spring. I just did a huge shop. But I also know that with my colors, bright, translucent colors, after August 15th, the only thing I'm going to find that even looks good on me is going to be on the sale rack. And after September 20th, I'll be lucky to find anything even there. Because it will all be colors that look terrible on me until usually I can wear a Christmas red, so there'll be like a little bright spot at Christmas, but then nothing again until maybe February. And every season has that where they're like, I can't find my colors. There's going to be times of year when you just know that you'll have a better chance to shop. You can actually look up, especially with more trendy brands, you can look up the Pantone colors of the year, and they will tell you by season what colors are going to be most present. That's actually more or less true, and you will be able to find more of those colors represented. So if you see that, and they put them out well in advance, if you see next spring is going to be all about, this perfect rare color, you don't see it very often, but oh, does that color look amazing on you? Well, then you're putting some back, you're putting some back, because next spring you're going to be crazy. So budgeting is also seasonal shopping. It's knowing when the sales hit. That's changed so much from when I was a girl. That used to be part of the season. So you would, get overcoats in, February or March. I think now you get them in December. I remember one year there was a cold snap. I don't live in San Diego, but there was a cold snap. And I couldn't find my daughter a jacket in January. They were all gone. I couldn't even find them on clearance. There were no jackets. Fortunately, I can sew. But, so that sale period was really adjusted for some odd purchasing patterns. You can find things online as well. So that cycle has changed a little bit, but again, whatever season you are, that's going to be the very, very best season for you to shop. So you might want to throw a little bit more into the clothing kitty, which means that in other times of the year you're buying less, to shop and invest more when you think that the clothes will be more prevalent for you. And even online, you will find that they have more offerings at one time in the year than another. I'm getting all these ads for Wool & Co. right now, and they have these ballet sweaters, and I've been looking for a ballet sweater because I just didn't hit the trends and get one when they were available near me in that hot second that they were available. I'm like, oh, I think that would look really nice on me. It'd be very attractive. And I looked at, and they have 15 colors, all but 2 of the ones that will look acceptable on me are sold out. Why? Because I'm taping this in June. If they bring that ballet sweater back with all the colorways in 6 months, I might be able to get one of the colors I actually want. I can't right now. And that's just because it's the wrong time of year. Word to the wise, I really see this heavily with Pendleton Wool does this, where, any of the wool places, summer, they just don't have anything. They don't sell it, so they don't want to keep it in stock. Something to think about. What else for budgeting? Just take it seriously. The whole point of making shopping lists, of getting reality checks, of seeing what goes together, so you can make the most of your dollar. Make the most of your closet space. Make the most of everything. This is your life. So go forth and shop wisely. Have a wonderful day.